Welcome back to Synology Online. Today I want to talk to you about a problem we start to see. In fact, I'm going to start this board up. AMD boards. Now, I see a lot of AMD boards here. Probably, I would say 25% of the boards I see are AMD. So I'm hooked up in the serial port, so it's right here, and you'll see this flashing every time it reads and writes. So now here's the thing. If you have an AMD NAS, and this is something we don't even know why is happening, but a lot of units are coming in with bad RAM. So, and it's not aftermarket RAM. This is actually Synology RAM. So, which is surprising, and we're not quite sure why it's happening, but these AMD boards are actually eating RAM. So, I have done a lot of testing on these and all kinds of things, and I can't figure out why, but for some reason the AMD boards go through RAM. Now this is actually a DS 1522 Plus. It had another problem on it, but the problem that it had beyond the RAM was an effect of the RAM. So it took not only a new RAM stick to fix it, but it took another part to fix it, and it was like the controller for the RAM. So I thought that was kind of surprising. For such new models, I see this in racks, I see this in the desktop versions, but the AMD boards for some reason are going through RAM sticks like it's nothing. They eat them up like it's water. I mean, it's just gone. So if you have an AMD board, an AMD based NAS, and you can't get it to boot, it just flashes the blue light, try this. Remove the coin cell from it, okay? Take the RAM stick out and turn it on and try to boot it, okay? So let it sit there and blink away for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes. Alright, it's not going to boot, it's not going to do anything. But try that. Put the RAM back in, put the coin cell back in, and boot it after that, and see if it comes back. If you have no success, and you put aftermarket RAM, or if you happen to have a spare DDR RAM stick around, it's actually good to put a bad one in there and try to boot it, and then take it out, and then put the original back in. Because what we really need to do is get the unit to forget the memory that it had in it somehow, any way we can do it, and remap. So the coin cell retains the memory mapping. So, and that's the strange thing. You know, when I created the coin cell trick, like that flooded markets everywhere in the past few years, it's not the coin cell itself that's doing it. What we're trying to do is get the memory map to be removed from memory. So if you take the coin cell out and leave it out, now try to boot it. That's actually what you need to do, is boot it without a coin cell. So I wanted to bring this up because I see so many of these come in, and I have no idea why it's eating memory. I don't know what's with the AMD boards. And in fact, speaking of AMD boards, when you buy a new NAS, research what you plan on doing with that NAS. So let's say you want to host media, run Plex, maybe Jellyfin, something like that. Think about the model you're going to get. A lot of the AMDs don't have video codecs built into them. They don't have the extra GPU like many of the Intel-based ones do. And I get a lot of people who say, oh man, I'm sorry I bought this AMD unit because I had no idea this thing didn't support any video codec. So, and that's something to look at. But anyways, I wanted to bring this out about the AMD based ones. I have no idea why, but I see so many. I would probably say 20% of the AMD boards that come in here have memory issues. and that's just it. Some have BIOS issues where you have to redo the BIOS. Some have even the EDOM that gets scrambled because of the memory. That's another problem. So we have to rebuild those EDOMs from scratch with all new firmware. So it's not like copying the EDOM over. You're just going to copy the bug. So you need to actually wipe it out completely and rebuild it fresh. And usually we use a known working donor that we have to modify that matches the MAC addresses and the serial number, and then do all the checksums and stuff like that for it. And we do that too for the 12 series and the 13s and 15 series NASs, so it's not that difficult. So anyways, I thought I'd bring this across and drop this word out there. If you have an AMD unit not booting, take the RAM out of it and let it run without it for a while. Take the coin cell too. Once this is done for like 5 minutes, put back the old RAM and see if your NAS boots. So if it does, probably you're going to need some RAM coming up. So it's borderline dead. So think about that and consider it. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. I thought I'd drop this AMD bombshell out there, but it's a problem, definitely. So thank you.